On today's edition of Cosmo Times.
Time to celebrate Children's Day in our Cosmo City.
From the Doodle for Google competition in New York City
to the EdTech Science Academy in Los Angeles.
And finally, a kid portrait studio in Shanghai.
Hi, welcome to our Children's Day episode of Cosmo Times.
We'll never have kids.
Why? They're cute, lovely, chubby, sweet.
I mean, when they're not crying or waking you up at like 4 a.m. or pooping everywhere all the time, little poop factories.
Well, I like kids.
Well, you know what? You go ahead and like kids, Mency.
Thanks.
Anyways, let's check out this week's word on the street.
And find out what do you miss most about being a child.
International Children's Day is coming up and people around the world will be celebrating kids. But what do New Yorkers miss most about their childhood? I'm hitting the streets to find out.
Sense of freedom when you're a kid, I think, because you just get to go and roam the streets and do what you want, whereas the parents don't know what the hell you're doing. So.
The innocence. I think sometimes growing up and knowing a little too much and reading into too much can ruin things.
I really miss picnics. I really miss having a good picnic outdoors with friends or family and eating so much that I have to wobble home from the lawn.
I think Legos probably. I don't know, I thought it's a lot of fun. It's a good time.
Being able to play in a way that I don't now, you know, really getting down on my hands and knees and digging in the dirt and doing things. Come to think about it, there's some dirt right there. I probably could do it, but I don't.
Being a kid, as free-spirited as I was. I mean, I'm still very free, but as free-spirited as I was. I just didn't give a care in the world.
Dancing like crazy, having fun, free time.
And why?
I mean, I guess the best part about being a kid is that you just follow your heart, you know?
Childhood brings back a lot of positive memories for New Yorkers. They really miss being energetic, full of life, and not having a care in the world. And I miss, as for me, eating so much grilled cheese and tomato soup. I haven't had one in a really long time. Reporting from New York, I'm Christy Clement.
Hello from Melbourne. Now, we all occasionally have the yearning to switch back to when things were a little bit easier. We didn't have the stress of daily lives. But here at South Melbourne Markets, let's go for a wander and find out what people miss most about being a child.
Oh, no stress. Yeah, just pretty much no stress. Having 2 kids, yeah, it's pretty stressful, so.
Freedom, probably.
I was going to say that. Being worryless. Yeah.
I was going to say freedom, not having any responsibility or obligations put on you.
Freedom to do whatever you like.
Running down the street.
Enjoying the simple things. Like really enjoying it.
Everything. Absolutely everything. Yeah, just the, I don't know, not having the responsibilities.
Yeah, no bills, no responsibility, not having to look after the kids.
What do I miss most? I think it's the feeling of complete opportunity to do anything that I want to do.
Do you have any memories of that, of just running down the street during summer or something?
Yes, I had a billy cart and used to ride down the big hill in it all the time.
the freedom of being a child. So you have a recklessness and a free roaming mind, and imagination is rampant, and you don't seem restricted in what you could possibly do.
There's less worries for sure. No bills to pay. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Probably being carefree, not having worries, not having bills and a mortgage, that type of thing.
So what do people miss most about being a child? The freedom, of course. No bills to pay, you can eat and sleep whenever you want, and no stress. It sounds very appealing to me. I'm Andrew Moon, now it's back to Shanghai.
Okay, so with International Children's Day coming up, it is a good reason to be a kid again. But at the same time, it isn't what it used to be. So our question for this week Word on the Street is, what do you miss most about being a kid? Let's go find out.
我最难忘的时光是初三的时候，和几个好闺蜜一起玩玩闹闹啊，然后一起为了中考而努力的时光，是我觉得最难忘的时光。
因为我小时候是住在乡下，家的后面有一大片竹林，我小时候会在那边玩，然后会拿那个刀在那边劈那个竹的枝条，然后春天也会在那边挖笋，就感觉非常的开心。
儿时一起跟小伙伴翻墙头啊、捣蛋啊，我认为都是非常有趣的事情，就像冒险一样。 做任何事情都是非常新奇的。
小的时候，比如说跳皮筋啊、踢毽子啊，这些跟小伙伴一起玩的。上了初高中以后，就不会再接触的了。
最怀念的时候，童年，我们是老师带我们一群小朋友出去放风筝，在田野里面，有一位老爷爷种了一大片桃园，然后很多小朋友去把他们的桃花给折下来了。
最开心的肯定是放暑假了。放暑假的时候，我一般都在乡下。 然后跟我爷爷奶奶在一起，小时候特别喜欢干农活，觉得他们最好能带我干什么活都带上我。我记得那时候还在捉棉花啊什么的，我觉得都很好玩。现在已经不会再有这种时候了。
我最怀念小学的时候，放学之后可以跟小朋友们一起在院子里面玩的那段时光。小孩子比较没有防备心，跟大家都可以很简单的就玩在一起。但是像现在长大了之后，就会觉得人跟人之间的距离比较遥远，所以会比较怀念那段时光。
Okay, so it looks like everyone has their childhood memories. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is to stay young at heart, because everyone has a kid in us. This is Christine for Shanghai Word on the Street. Woo!
Yes, not having a care in the world is what I miss about my childhood.
Not having a care in the world? Are you kidding me? That's what babies want you to think.
What do you mean?
I mean, think about it. Like, why are babies always crying?
I don't know.
Exactly. Nobody knows. It's like they're plotting to take over the world, one poor adult at a time.
What does that have to do with them crying?
Because that's how they get stuff done. I mean, that's how they win. That's how they beat us, men, see? It's us versus the babies. Want to find out more about today's episode?
Well, don't you move a muscle, because when we come back,
we'll talk to the winner of the 2014 Doodle for Google competition in New York City.
And then to LA for some science lessons.
Cosmo time. Cosmo time.
Welcome back, everyone.
And happy Children's Day.
Right. How could I forget?
What do you have against the kids?
Oh, no, nothing. Other than the fact that they're plotting to take over the world?
But they're so sweet.
Right. You know what? Let's just go to the New York City search.
International Children's Day is coming up and kids around the world are going to be celebrated. Today, we're meeting with one talented artist who's putting her work on the page and the homepage. Imagination, creativity, exploration. When you're a kid, you're encouraged to find out what makes your heart sing. whether it's at school, home, or after-school activities. For 12-year-old artist Audrey Zhang, she's lucky to have found her calling at such a young age.
Art is my passion and I really love it.
You won't find Audrey's art hanging on her fridge at home. Last year, she took first place in Doodle for Google. The national competition's theme was Draw One Invention That Would Help the World, and received around 100,000 submissions from children in kindergarten through 12th grade. Audrey's winning drawing, entitled Back to Mother Nature, was turned into an animation and featured on the US Google homepage.
I got the idea for the water purifier because I thought if we didn't have water, we would all die. So I was thinking that our water is getting polluted, so we should fix that problem.
Creating a winning drawing didn't happen without hard work and dedication. Audrey entered the contest 3 times consecutively before she took home the gold. She first entered in 2012 and placed in the 250 state finalists. The following year, she was one of the top 5 national finalists, and 3rd time's the charm.
Why did you choose to come back? A lot of people are like, I didn't win, so I'm not going to do it again.
I don't really like giving up, and I wanted to win.
And Audrey was willing to go to any lengths to get there, even if that meant working on her drawings during winter break.
Like a few years ago, I was doing my first Google Doodle thing, and I woke up every day really early so I could start over, because every day I start a new copy because I kept messing up on the last one. So then for like 7 days, I kept waking up at 6 o'clock to finish my drawings.
While her creativity made an impact on her school, community, and the web, it also touched people she could have never imagined. Google donated $20,000, which was matched by an anonymous donor, to a charity that provides clean water to schools in Bangladesh.
That feels nice because I'm thinking that my art actually helps someone.
That's like, that's like extra reward. It's true, when I heard it at the moment, I was in tears because, this is like unexpected.
While placing, winning, and helping those in need is a relatively new thing for Audrey, her love of drawing is not. She picked up her first crayon at 23 months, and the rest is history.
I didn't expect it. She can pick something up so quickly, I just draw something, then she stand opposite of me, then she copied.
Audrey's early talent wasn't the only thing that caught her mother's eye. Although the toddler's verbal skills were limited, Hong Mei found that her art spoke for her.
I think I can really understanding her better because, kids, well, she can draw better when she can speak a little, right? I can understand her by her drawing. That's communication.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yes.
So there's your baby just drawing, and
Yes,
you're like, oh,
yes.
I totally get it. I see what you're saying.
As the artist grew, the work did right along with her. She traded crayons for markers, acrylic paint, pastels, and charcoal. While her knowledge of art grew larger, her free time grew smaller as more extracurricular pursuits came into the picture.
I wake up, I go to school for 7 hours, then I come back, do homework for a few hours, then eat dinner and do some art, play my flute, and then practice piano if I can.
And then go to bed.
Yeah.
What a day. And you do that 5 days a week.
When she's very focused, it's really good. But when she grown up, so many distractions, it's very hard to find peaceful time to concentrate. That's the problem.
Despite her hectic schedule, nothing gets in the way of her pursuing her passion.
So they're like a traveling band, and they're living in a black and white world. And they're also a traveling band, but they're living in a colorful world. It's like the story of 2 spirits in 2 worlds. Like this guy really belongs over here, and this guy belongs over here, but they switch places. And now he's trying to go back because he's destroying stuff.
So tell me a little bit about this. What inspired you to make it Halloween?
I just want to draw something spooky.
And that is very spooky. And there's lots of color in here too. Why do you choose to use so much color?
I think color expresses stuff better than just lines.
If Audrey continues to balance work and play, she can make her dream come true.
When I grow up, I want to become an artist. You need to be dedicated if you want to get something. So I'm going to keep drawing.
I hope she can be like a artist can create something unique that the people enjoy and feel the good of life.
Whether she's doodling on her homework or creating a nationally ranked piece, Audrey's love of art represents childhood, bright, colorful, and full of life. And just like drawing, life is more fun when you color outside the lines. Reporting from New York, I'm Christy Cummings.
Doodling is so fun.
Yeah, it's a good way to express some creativity.
Thanks, Sal.
So what do we got next?
Oh, something about teaching kids science?
Oh, cool beans like Pinky and the Brain, plotting to take over the world.
What are Pinky and the Brain?
What, seriously? Like, Little Mice, you never seen that? No? You know what, let's just go to the LA City Search.
The next generation is our future. Today we get to see a lot of little scientists and engineers. A group of people are teaching science in a very fun and interactive way.
We promote STEM education, specifically science and engineering. We offer hands-on, interactive, really fun science classes for kids. What we do is we teach them difficult science and engineering concepts, but we make it very fun.
When people think of science, they picture boring lectures, words they don't understand. This curriculum is designed to make science interesting. Don't you wish you had this as a kid?
We build machines and structures with Lego, for example, and they're learning engineering principles and fundamentals in a very fun way. We realize that it has to be hands-on and interactive in order for kids to learn. Yeah, otherwise kids are going to be bored and they're going to be tuned out. No one wants, when I grew up, I hated science.
Me too.
Yeah, most people do. It has a bad rap because teachers are boring and you have to read a lot and you have to just listen and you have to write stuff down. And kids aren't engaged. And we have to engage kids if we want them to learn more and to enjoy science.
How do you do a science birthday party, say for example?
It's interesting. So we come with a lot of science materials. We come with a big mobile lab. We call it the mobile lab. And we bring a great instructor, and it's broken up. The party's about an hour, and we do demonstrations, really fun demonstrations. Fire and dry ice. And it's very cool, and the kids love them. And then the kids get to make their own experiment.
This time, we will do some simple chemistry experiments to see how kids learn about acids and bases.
Cool, so it turns red, but actually wait, because this is a really special kind of a base. And if you watch it, you're going to see something happen. See what's happening?
Yeah.
It's turning back to yellow, it's turning back to green, and now it's all the way back to being blue. Isn't that really cool? So that's really fun to watch, and we can see the difference between when something is an acid and a base.
We took the last 7 years and we developed a whole bunch of curriculum. So we have 9 different modules that students can take. There's Egg-Ed Inventors, Egg-Ed Astronauts, Egg-Ed Rocket Science, Egg-Ed Detectives, Egg-Ed Explorers, Egg-Ed Engineering Mega Machines, Superstructures, a bunch of really cool things. So if somebody buys a franchise, they're going to be able to do exactly what we do here, but in whatever country they want.
With the goal of making science cool for kids, they design and develop their own sets of materials for class which are safe and can't be shopped around anywhere else.
People ask us all the time what types of materials we use in the classes. We use real lab-grade equipment. So these are things that you wouldn't just be able to purchase at the store on your own. A few things you would be able to. They could go home and experiment and do a couple fun things that they learned in class. When kids come to the academy, they get decked out in Egg-Ed t-shirts. So they're officially a part of the academy.
It started with a class of 10 students. Now the program grew to 50 locations across Los Angeles.
We've actually started receiving calls. We haven't been doing a lot of marketing, but we're receiving some calls from countries like China, Dubai, India, Australia. And while we want to go there, we'd like to open up here first. but we're not closed off to opening internationally in the near future.
Being a part of the program, not only do you get a chance to make new friends, you also get a chance to learn about science and watch your own brain grow. I'm Xiaoying, reporting from Los Angeles.
Time to take that break again.
But when we come back, we'll check out a kid's portrait studio.
Right here in our Shanghai City Search.
Cosmo time. Cosmo time.
Welcome back.
Oh, I love science.
I'm sure you do, Mansi.
Yeah.
My only issue with science is you really got to be careful with that stuff, especially around kids. They're like wizards. Witchcraft, crazy spells, Harry Potter.
Okay, how?
Well, clearly you don't understand kids.
Oh, you do.
You know what? I kind of do. And I keep telling you people that they're watching us, they're after us. They could be here right now. They could be
Okay, let's just go to this week's Shanghai City Search.
Ah! They're like ninjas! Ah! This is Yo-Yo. She's 3 years old. Today, her parents prepared a special Children's Day gift for her, but I'm not sure if she's in the right place. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what they have in store for her. Every parent wants to remember the milestones in their kids' lives. And putting together a photo album is a great way to do it. But today, Yo-Yo isn't just getting her picture taken. She's gonna step back in time for a classic portrait.
We want a classic portrait to be beyond time and age.
We're trying to keep a delicate way of shooting photos.
3 years ago, Ping, Kevin, and Tony began the Lights Up Studio for Kids. It was the first children's photography studio in the city, and they've since gained a reputation for a natural style of shooting with vivid images. In fact, they've also attracted the attention of some big brands looking to source their unique photographic approach. But now they've ventured in a new direction, looking to add something a little bit different to the studio.
The classic portrait is not only about chasing the idea of vintage, but the essence of vintage is all about being exquisite and striving for perfection. And we believe classic portrait is going to make that happen.
The way classic portraits were taken are very different from the contemporary style of photography. Everything from shooting and developing film requires its own unique method.
The film sheet we're using is 13 times bigger than the traditional film, 35mm film. The bigger the size of the film is, the better the quality of the image is. It generates thousands of different beautiful tones of gray and creates multiple layers of shades, and it could capture a huge amount of details of the image. And we're using at least 4 sets of lighting, which is simulating the classic 1950s Hollywood lighting setup. Creates different layers of lighting.
To fit this style, we require the client to dress a little bit more formal way.
They even prepared a special dress for today's photo shoot.
Some even bring their instrument like violin, cello, to take photo with their favorite instrument. So the results come out excellent.
Yo-Yo has her costume on and she's ready for the shoot. But I think her biggest challenge is staying still.
脖子亲一下，然后又来了，然后小孩子，侬哪能又动了啦？不好动，我们不动啊。We can't instantly focus on the moving subject, so we require the kid to hold his post and hold still for several minutes. And during these several minutes, we can prepare the film and focus on the kid and release the shutter. So here is the biggest difference is we require the kid to take this classic portrait whose age is above 3 years old.
When it comes to digital photo shoots, photographers usually tell kids to ignore the camera. But for classic portraits, kids actually have to pose accordingly and really be aware of what the camera's doing. All things considered, I think Yo-Yo's doing a pretty good job. But the real magic of classic portraits comes after the photos have been taken. So let's head to the darkroom to see how these images are developed.
这个是我们用来冲胶片和放大照片的一个暗房。平常我们的工作是因为有很多感光的材料，会看到有一个安全灯打开。除了这个安全灯打开以外，其他所有的灯光都是必须要关闭的。我们这边呢有干区和湿区，这边呢我们用来冲洗胶片，这个地方我们来放大胶片。当我们把胶片冲洗出来以后呢，我们就用这个放大机来进行相片的放大。那这个机器呢，有点像我们看到的那个投影仪，它会投出这个相片的影像，让相纸得到曝光。这个我们的水槽里现在放着4盆水，其实它是4种不同的化学药剂。那这盘呢是显影液，我们用来进行相片的显影。它会使相纸上的这个化学药剂激活，产生影像。那这盘呢是停显液，它的作用是使这个化学作用暂时停止。那这个呢是我们的定影液，它的作用是让影像固定。那这个是我们的水洗盘，它会洗去上面残留的化学药液。
The whole process of developing a photo only takes a few minutes, but the preparation can take over an hour. Cutting, enlarging, and focusing all requires patience and accuracy. In fact, it's safe to say that much of the skill lies in the final process.
The photo itself become a family heritage, and also the procedure to taking this classic portrait become a memorable story for everybody.
With camera phones and standard digital cameras, photography has become a simple process of point and click. But along with Yo-Yo's classic portrait comes a classic process, one that has become rare in today's digital age. But it still reminds us of the true beauty and skill of photography. And for Yo-Yo, it'll most certainly be a memory she won't forget. And from City Beat, we wish you all a happy Children's Day.
Well, it looks like it's about that time again.
So don't you worry.
Because when we come back, it's time for some creative source.
Bringing you the latest in entertainment news.
Cosmo time. Cosmo time.
Welcome back.
Yeah, kids' portrait studio, right? I mean, what else do we have to change in our lives to accommodate these so-called babies?
I like those portraits.
I'm sure you do, but have you ever seen Lord of the Flies?
No.
Well, you should. You should. It'll really open your mind to what these children are capable of.
I think it's time for our creative source.
Don't be fooled.
With a cool cosmic alien style, amazing vocal harmonies, a cappella combined with beatboxing, they create an incredible range of sounds, tones, and rhythms. These are the Volca people, coming all the way from Israel. The Volca people are friendly aliens from the planet Volca, where all communication is done through music and vocal expression. They believe that life is music, and music is life.
That concept was so different. And lastly, the storyline. Usually an a cappella show would be, as you know, a show or a concert. We have a story. We have characters. Usually when you see an a cappella show, it's very well built, it's classically built. We do a couple of things differently. First of all, we have 100 songs in the show. Secondly, it's a lot of audience participation, which means a lot of improvisations.
They landed on an unfamiliar planet, the one we call Earth, discovering that their spaceship, which of course runs entirely on music, was out of fuel.
There is some audience participation because what the 8 aliens are doing, they are learning Earth's music through their heads. They read their minds, and this is how they learn Earth people's music. Vocal People does have over 100 bits and pieces of music that everybody knows, from the music from Mozart to Madonna, dubstep, the music from all over the time.
The arrangement of their songs includes some very popular tracks, as well as music from film and television, much like the 20th Century Fox theme, or the classic theme from James Bond. Mission Impossible, and a homage to their alien brethren, E.T. But for their Shanghai show, they incorporated some Chinese elements, a theme they maintain whenever they travel to a new country. But here in the city, they performed the classic Chinese song Little Apple or Xiao Pingguo. The Voca People actually began here on Earth, making their debut on a television show in Italy back in 2009. And their performance at the Latin Grammys received 100 million hits online. It led to a series of television performances, with an eventual tour across 26 countries. For one of their key performances, they're also able to reproduce every sound from an entire orchestra.
They have special abilities. They know how to imitate instruments like guitars and strings and drums and helicopters and horns, and everything that is sound they can imitate and make into the show. So when they go down to the audience, they use their individual skills to imitate those instruments, and then they create music with the audience, from the audience, even to the extent of bringing people from the audience to the stage. So a lot of the show is open for improvisations by the Voca People.
Audience and critics have also raved about their performances, with the likes of the New York Times calling their harmonies otherworldly.
Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you're sexy, then flown it. If you freaky, then own it. Don't break it down, come show me. Well, it's Saturday night and we're in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch.
With just 12 shows in Shanghai, it's a rare chance to hear these alien harmonies live. The Voca People will be at the ET space until May 30th, and it promises to be a night of total excitement, full of sounds, comedy, audience participation, and of course, amazing music.
So, what is with you and the kids taking over the world?
I mean, I'm just stating a fact here, Mensi.
What fact?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, they're the future. They're going to inherit this planet when we're gone.
Go on.
I mean, they're the future, we're the past. They're going to be running all of it. This is all theirs.
So?
Well, I mean, it really depends on how we bring up our kids, how we educate them, and that's going to affect the world that we live in.
Okay.
And at the same time, the question is, what kind of world do we want to leave our kids?
Fine. That's a good question. Happy Children's Day.
Happy Children's Day. Don't raise ninjas. What do I say after that? That's what they want you to fucking think. Sorry, I'm so tired. My brain is broken. Give me a minute.
What do you mean?
What's
They cry in the middle of the night or something
something like that? No, I can do it. I can do it. Well, think about it, man. Okay, just here. Don't film this for a second. Ah, they're like ninjas. Get me like falling out of the frame. What's the fall out of the frames?
Like be like instead of falling down, be like
Or you'll be like, yeah, you'll be like trapped.
Will this hurt the tree if I like hit it hard?